Welcome on in. Hey, hey, hey. We're at day 3. Hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit that bell, select all, and comment down below if you feel like doing so. And don't forget to check out the Facebook group page. Keep pounding in all caps for in-game posts, polls, opinions, and reactions to NFL news. Such as scheduling for the channel and for the other sports app, Fantasy Football League, which is filling up soon. We will be opening that up to the public as early as next week for those last remaining spots. I'm going to try to get that figured out this weekend, and we'll open it up on probably early next week or mid next week. But make sure you hit that bell so you don't miss any of the training camp live streams that we do. A lot of content coming out this month, and we are just getting started. So if you are interested in checking out and improving your live stream experience with an intro, outro, etc., go check out Lindara Ty on Instagram using her last name first, Ty, T-A-I Lindara, Lindara, for videos, posts, things of that nature that you see on your screen. Go check her out if you want to improve your stream. Awesome to work with. Good prices and just awesome in general. Lindara Ty on Instagram. Day 3. Day 3. We in here, man. We in here. Sorry to interrupt your work day, but this is the only time I can stream today, so we're gonna make this happen. That being said, let's find out what has happened in day 3. Alright, according to Darren Gant, Friday was a lighter walkthrough day than training camp observations. Takes a broader view of camp so far, which hasn't been long, with a look at wide receivers, offensive line, pass rush options, and taking a patient approach to roster building. And management, if you are paying attention, please publish some type of schedule so that we know like what days off these players have, so that we as YouTubers can plan around that. You know what I mean? Because we're out here trying to put out content for the fans, so we would very much appreciate that. And an idea of when your practices start and end, so that we know like what time we can cover these things and what time we can't. So that would be very, very helpful. So we appreciate that. Thank you. Let's see. Let's take a look around the league. The Dolphins are making a little bit of headline right now. With their rookie guard at training camp. And supposedly Eric Izuku can. I can't even say that last name. I apologize if I butchered it, because I am just awful with names. So please, we'll just call him Eric, spelled Erik. is supposedly doing really well. There's also talk in Miami that no, it's Patrick Paul. It's Patrick Paul on the offensive line. Yeah. Um, but Eric is making a push for that left tackle spot in Miami. So what else is going on here? There was supposedly a player that was in danger of being cut in Miami. Let me see what's going on there. Because I do want to kind of cover that real quick. Oh, and Justin Fields got carted off today as well. I don't know whether that was yesterday or today. Y'all have to double check me on that. Because I'm not sure which day. But, offensive line, text them. Ooh, there's some tension between Tua and Tyreek Hill trying to reconnect to each other after all those comments and whatnot last year. That's crazy, man. So, but I want to keep an eye on that, as we approach that Dolphins game, on our schedule. So, supposedly Sanders is the one that could be cut. They could save 3.3 in cap space in Miami, carrying only 1.3 million in dead money if they decide to go that route. So that's kind of the news there from the Miami Dolphins camp. So I thought that was interesting to cover. We're going to get to the main topics of conversation in just a moment. Regarding the... Well, we already got Jets. We already got Justin Fields. Oh, regarding Aaron Rodgers, his first pick as a Steeler, in his training camp was picked off. Is that an inkling for the future of Aaron Rodgers and the start of his demise? We'll see. In Chicago, you've got offensive linemen running pass and catch drills. That's something you don't see every day. So I think that's worth pointing out. Also, happy birthday to the legendary Bryce Young. As we begin our Panthers coverage for day 3. You got Chad Ochocinco talking about our wide receiver core. He says, can we talk about the possibility of the Panthers trio of wide receivers being the best in the league with consistency week to week for Bryce Young? That's a real quote, folks. Ochocinco is vouching for these wide receivers, man. I'm trying to tell you. This is the second time in 2 days this man is vouching for them. What y'all think about that? How y'all feel about that one right there? I'm feeling pretty good because Ocho's just the beginning, man. Once we start proving it and we start getting these players on the field, that's just the beginning. And I'm going to say this right now. They will prove themselves. They will do well. There is no question about that. While the rest of the league is saying, who are these guys? Just like they did in 15. before we started that season. And then look how that ended up. Same level of talent. You can't convince me otherwise at this point. Because it really is. It's dead on. I think this is worth looking at too. Uh, Panthers mailbag. Someone asks, let's see. Well, what did they say? Something about the linebackers. Which question was it? What to do at linebacker? Alright, so not a lot came out the first few days aside from highlights of rookie Princely making some plays and highlight reel catches by Ted McMillan and Hunter Renfro. So that's really what Brian answers with the mailbag on that, but there's no real answers at linebacker, which is why I clicked on this. Release Josie Jewell. Yeah, here we go. He throws it in here as a question anyway. He pretty much said exactly what I said yesterday. He's dealing with concussion aftermath and all that. So, yeah, I think it was the right move for both Josie and the management. They were both on the same page there, and they both wanted the best for Josie Jewell. So, best of luck to him, and best wishes in his future endeavors as he heals and takes his next plans, for wherever he's going to go next. Let's see some videos. Let's see something. Feeling. Love it. Also elsewhere in the NFL, the Browns placed Jordan Hicks on the reserved retired list. So I think that's worth pointing out. Um, if you're gonna put Latham in the box, just like you did with Jeremy Chin, I don't think that's a good idea because that's how we ruined Jeremy Chin. Because Jeremy figured it out. He was just like, why are you doing this with me? Because I'm not a box type safety. You know? And I don't think they truly knew what they were doing with a few of these players. And that's exactly why, they left.
We want to run the same, just like I was saying earlier.
Well,
I'm
they'll
careful
have.
when I say this. Look
They're
at the
saying day
Eagles when
two.
you look
It's
at
day three,
our
guys.
defense. I'm not
It's day
saying we're
three.
on anywhere in
Y'all are
the
behind
same fucking universe. What I'm saying is we want to
because
run the same type of system.
I
Yeah.
covered
And
day
so,
one
Look at
and
the
day two
president.
already.
Look at the
hang on.
president.
But but
Look
but
at the
Y'all a
but
president.
day behind,
but here's the thing though, go.
and that's me
And we all
saying
say
that.
some crazy shit, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Regardless of
that's
what,
me saying that.
I get you limited, bro. But you can't give me the worst ever in 60
That's what I'm
years, bro.
saying.
You can't
Exactly.
give me
I
the
do
There's
worst.
want
no
You
all that.
can't.
excuse for
That's
that.
Get off my screen. Thank you. All right. Let's see. Anything new? Let's see. Let's see. Nothing on that page. Let's see what else we got. I'm looking for anything that we can use from today. Seven observations. Yeah. From today. Yeah. That's what I want. I don't want an account with them. Man, I don't care about all that stuff. I just want to read the freaking article. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. New York Times be wildin', man. I'm telling you. Yeah, Athletic. Here we go. So let's see what's going on here, man. Joe Person. He says he's really pushing Jimmy Horn, apparently, and saying, you know, how fast he is, you know, the typical hoopla about Jimmy Horn that we've been hearing for the past like month or two. He ran a 4.46 second at 40 at the combine. So let's see. J.C. Horn was returning kicks. Okay. I don't care about that. Pat Jones. Did we have do we have anything going on today? Or was it just a light practice today? Let's see. Trapped in different skill sets. Further review. So you just wasted my time with a garbage article and made me subscribe for nothing? Man, screw you. Come on, Joe Person. What a waste of my time, bro. Unbelievable. Screw that garbage, man. Ian Rappaport. Let's see. Ian Rappaport only focuses on like the whole NFL though. Big dude, is there anything that we can get out of day 3 here? Wait, literally anything? Or was this just a day off? Like, I don't know. Hey, there we go. Yeah, let's see. Anything from today? Okay, she ain't put nothing out so far. Alright, let's try Charlotte Vibe. Charlotte Vibe always puts stuff out. Practice video. Is there anything from today? If anybody's going to know the schedule, it's going to be CV, I think, because he is accredited. I mean, I might reach out to him and see if we can get a schedule going. Carolina Blitz. Do we have anything today? Literally anything? I mean, I'm not seeing anything on Twitter. If y'all see something, let me know. But right now, it's dead on Twitter right now. Let's try YouTube then. Because I know we got a presser. I know that. Alright, well, we can definitely do the presser. If nothing else.
He kind of looked.
My God.
Alright, let's go. Full screen respect and let me just take care of a couple things on my phone. Okay, see that. All right. Let's get into it.
Hi, Adam. How are you?
All good. How we doing?
Doing good. Thank you so much for taking the time today. If anyone has any questions for Adam, we will get started. Mike?
Adam, I'll start. I had a couple of questions for you. Hunter Renfrow said that he kind of looked up to you in the way that you played, the way you entered the league, the way you kind of, I mean, you guys have pretty similar skill sets. I'm just curious, how his, just from afar and then also working with him now, as a teammate, what are you seeing from him? But also, like, how inspiring is that a guy could go through what he went through and then really kind of hit the ground running here?
Yeah, I mean, I think anybody in the league that's played against someone with him knows what he can do when he's healthy. And so I think for me, I'm just happy that he's feeling good. He's back playing football. What that will look like, none of us know. But I think the big thing is just that he knows he's healthy. He feels good. He's back doing what he loves to do and you know, being around the guys. So definitely thankful that he's here and like I said, just
Y'all's
that he's
mic
healthy.
sucks.
And then my next question, Shaw Smith-Wade's getting kind of a lot of buzz in the building. You
There
guys
we
go
go.
up against him as a rookie when he was kind of learning how to play the slot position or the nickel position. What have you seen growth-wise against him this year?
Yeah, I'd say for him it's confidence and physicality. Like he just brings a demeanor, a physicality, and a confidence that you know, is tough to go against. Those are the guys that are tough. Like when I think about some of the toughest corners that I played in my career, you know, even just being on the outside, they were the guys that were just confident. Like you could see it in their eyes, you could see it in the way that they played the game, that they are just confident in their abilities. And when they're that confident, they have the ability to be patient and kind of let the game come to them. So that's what I'm seeing out of him is just confidence and physicality.
Thanks.
All right, we will go over to David Newton.
Hey Adam, how you doing? Appreciate your time today. Wanted to ask you about Jimmy Horn Jr. What everybody knows he has speed, but what else have you seen from him out there?
I just like his mindset from the day that he got here, even through these training camp practices, just his ability to want to learn, his ability to just want to be the very best player and teammate he can be. That's really what sticks out for me. I mean, obviously everybody knows what he can do athletically with the ball in his hands. So, you know, he's a rookie and he's a guy who has a great potential and future in this league. But I just love that his mindset's there from day one. You know, that's not always the case. And usually when you look at guys that play a long time in this league, it's guys that want to be great, that want to do the little things, that want to ask questions, that are not like too good or too cool to kind of learn. So definitely impressed with his mindset.
And how fast is he?
Oh, he's fast. Yeah, he's explosive. Usually in the NFL, when you kind of look at receiver position, right, like no one really sticks out because everyone's fast, everyone's athletic, everybody can change direction. So there's not a lot of times that you see guys that necessarily stick out. But he's one of those guys that kind of just, you can see it right away, that he kind of just sticks out. That looks a little different when he's coming off the ball, when he's running downfield. So, yeah, he's fast.
Yeah, we know he's fast. Dumb question. Ask something relevant, please, David.
Okay, appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, moving on.
We will go to Danielle, followed by Dennis Cox.
Hey Adam, we heard a little bit about some of the different position groups doing a little bit of off-season bonding, O-line, playing some pickup. For you guys, this Minnesota retreat, I want to know a little bit about how that comes together and why it's important for these receivers to go along with Bryce in the off-season to get some work in like that.
Yeah, first of all, we had a great time.
There you go.
I think I probably had the most fun of everybody just because being able to kind of be in that role, to be able to just have guys at the house, to be able to kind of have guys where I'm from, and just kind of do some of those things that I've always really enjoyed, and just getting them together. So we had a great time. I think it's important just to get away from the building. Yeah, we spend a lot of time here, but 95% of the time we're here, it's football and pretty serious and maybe stressful at times, where that was just kind of laid back, getting to know each other on a different level, and really just enjoying time together, doing maybe some things that are out of some people's comfort level, but just having a great time doing it, and then getting work in as well. So just getting that timing with Bryce, being able to talk through things just on our own, what he's expecting in certain things, what he's looking for, just getting on the same page. And, he did a great job of kind of leading that and bringing guys together and having a plan. And I was just kind of there to be able to, kind of set up some of the fun things outside of football. So had a great time and thankful we were able to do it.
He told us yesterday that he doesn't like to be wet. I know you guys did some wakeboarding and stuff like that, but how do you feel like you guys come into training camp now as a closer unit, now that you have Jimmy and T-Mac coming with you guys to this experience and you already have this relationship established further?
Yeah, it just kind of helps you understand guys at a personal level. You kind of understand where guys are coming from, what makes them tick, what they enjoy. And so you just have a little bit more comfortability to be able to have real conversations, or maybe sometimes just have conversations that aren't really necessarily meaningful to the game of football, but just help you bond and trust each other. And that stuff carries over into games, right? Because when things get stressful, when things get tough, you got to be able to trust your teammates. You got to be able to understand them. And those things just help that. And again, it just coming in to training camp now, you just have a little bit more comfortability with that group and who you're around every day.
Thanks, Adam.
Adam, I just want to ask you this regarding Dave Canales. Where have you seen him grow from year 1 to year 2 as a head coach?
Yeah, I think just confidence in his approach. I think as a new head coach, and I'm kind of speaking for him here, but as a new head coach, I think there's a little bit of like, I think this is what I want to do. This is my plan, and I'm going to trust it. But I think him coming to year 2, you can see him just like, all right, like, I know what I'm doing. I know what works, and I'm all in. And I think when you feel that as a player, you kind of feel the same way. Like, you feel the confidence coming off of him of the schedule, of the philosophy, of what he wants out of players, and what is it going to take for you as a player to extend your career here, like what he's exactly looking for. You have a lot of confidence in knowing that I can just go and be myself and do exactly what they want. So again, it really comes down to just confidence in the approach, and we all feel that.
All right, we will go to Joe Person, followed by Alex Setlow.
Hey, Adam. Hope you're doing well. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Sorry about that. You mentioned comfortability. We saw the lake video. Did X ever get comfortable being in that water?
No, I don't think that'll ever happen again, but it was cool that he at least tried it, because he wasn't going to get in the boat to start with. So the fact that he actually got in the water a little bit, I won't totally say that's like necessarily getting in the water, but it totally says a lot of him. He's just out there. He's going to try it, even though he did not want to be there. He was out there with the guys and bonding. I think that says a lot about him, like, all jokes aside. I think it says a lot about his character, right? Like, he was not comfortable. He did not want to be on that boat, especially when he saw the boat. It wasn't a yacht, it was a little boat. And so I just think that says a lot about his character, that he was willing to kind of step out of his comfort zone and bond with his teammates.
You may or may not be able to answer this one contractually, but was there any like wakeboarding going on? Like, who was like the star of the show besides yourself?
Well, I think I can talk about it now because no one got hurt, but yeah, it was fun seeing guys just kind of just being free. I can't remember exactly who was talking about us not being a great group, so I think he might have been in on that. So I think he started to see in that game, and then obviously at the end of the year, and then obviously our additions in that room, what we can do. So yeah,
Wake him up to that possibility,
it's not a group to just look over.
All
so
right,
we got to go prove that. We got to go prove that tomorrow, and we got to go prove that week 1 through the end of the season. So it's a great challenge.
Trying to wade through all the.
Did you wake him up to that possibility, or did he already know when you guys were talking about it, whatever week it was last year?
I'm not sure, but I got a great relationship with him. But that, we could do it. I just really wanted to be able to host guys at the house, and the gym, the sports performance gym, is just down the street, ETS. So kind of fun.
Jeff Hawkins from Charlotte Post. Wondering, what are you seeing from
Okay, so
from
this
young
was a day off.
UDFA's
Gotcha.
Hudson and George?
All right.
And are the vets starting to feel some of the pressure from the young guys?
Yeah, I think it's the NFL. You're always feeling pressure, right? Like you always got to be on top of your game, because only 5 guys, maybe 6, in the receiver room are sticking and get opportunity, and really only 3 or 4, in any given Sunday get reps in a game. So yeah, you got to be on top of your game. There's always that stress, but we have a deep group, which is awesome. I've thoroughly enjoyed OTAs, the start of training camp, just kind of being along with those guys and seeing the progression, and seeing the depth. At the end of the day, you start to realize, as you've been in this league a long time, how important depth is and what that does to a team.
Correct.
Not just in the receiver room, but in the entire team. The more depth you have, the more competition. It raises the floor and just creates a culture that you can't relax, right? When you don't have competition, you tend to just be able to relax a little bit. All right, like, no one's coming for my job. Like, I'm just going to kind of hold it, and you can't do that when you have a deep group. So long story short, those guys create that, add in that depth. They're rookies, so they're going to make mistakes just like I do. But it's great to be along with them and just to see their potential. They both have made a couple plays in training camp that shows what they can do, and they can play at a high level when they know what to do and they know how to do it, and that's exciting.
Like Coker last year, did you give him any kind of special advice, just coming from your background?
Yeah, I try to have a balance of not just pushing too hard of like, oh, you got to do this or that. This is what I did, right? I try to just kind of open the door to those questions. If they ever need anything, I'm a resource, and try to have that balance of mostly just creating relationships right now, like getting them to trust me as a person, knowing who I am as a person, and knowing that I'm an open door, open book. And then that usually leads to discussion and questions, and maybe opens up the door for me to be more serious, with serious conversation of where I think that they maybe need to step up, or just advice of how they could get better. So, really have, over the years, I've tried to work on that balance.
I like his response about the depth chart stuff, because I've already spoken at length about that. And he simplified it for everybody that doesn't understand, and that was a great response regarding that. So I'm totally on board with how he's answering these questions, and he's very intelligent and knows what he's doing, and knows what he's talking about, because he's had the years of experience, with the Vikings and with us now. So he's been in this system for quite a while, and he knows what he's talking about. So, and he's absolutely right about the depth chart stuff. It creates that competition. And Dave Canales spoke at length about that as well. And it's a very important point.
Hey, thanks. Good luck this year.
Thank you.
Hey, and David again. I wanted to follow up on Minnesota too. Xavier really seems like he's becoming a social media star. Why are people so attracted to, you think, to him and what he's posting on social media?
Another useless question. Nobody cares about social media when it comes to these players. Like, some of these players don't even have social media accounts. Like, what purpose are we asking that question for? That's not relevant, bro. Like, everybody's attracted to XL because he's XL. He's got the talent. Next question. We already knew all this, bro.
Well, the funny thing is he doesn't. We were just talking about this other day. He doesn't post anything on social media. It's all kind of other people kind of blowing up on TikTok or whatever it is.
Exactly.
That he kind of gets
And
those
it's
videos
highlights.
out
It's not
there.
even
But
his posts.
I mean, he's just a great personality, right? Like, he's exactly why I enjoy coming to work every day, because of the personalities in the locker room, right? He's a fun guy to
For the
be
most
around.
part,
He's
it's not
always
even his
laughing,
posts.
smiling, having fun. I told X the other day, I said, hey, this summer I got more questions about you than anything else, like about my family, about
True.
me. Everybody just wanted to know about, like, what is it like working with X, and does he really talk like that? So he's definitely blown up. But again, it's not a like self-promotional thing. It's just who he is, and he likes to have fun, and he also is all about the work. So I love that balance, like a guy who's going to have fun, be himself,
Right.
but when it gets down to it, like, he's going to put the work in to be great. You can't just show up and expect to be great just because people like you. So he has a great balance of doing both those things.
Adam's got a great balance of that too. He won't say it openly, but yes, he's had multiple years, to learn how to do that, and that's something the rookies are going to have to learn how to do too. So Tet, pay attention. As far as like trying to find your balance, go ask Adam some questions, man. He's the vet here, man. He can help you with that.
So how did you answer them when they said, "What's it like to work with him?"
Oh, yeah, same.
Bro, like, everybody's literally asked that question, Joe. He's already given that answer about 15 million times. Why does he need to answer that question again? Like, see, this is what I'm talking about with these pointless questions, bro. Like, come with something relevant. Come with something that's... You hear all the rest of these reporters ask you decent questions that are interesting, man. And something worth, commenting on. Every one of your questions, like, it's not interesting. It's the same bland, regurgitated garbage that everybody else has asked already and gotten an answer on. Just in a different way. So, I mean, like, spice it up, bro. Spice it up. Like, I keep saying this, like, every press conference, man. Spice it up. Like, I want to react to your questions. I want to react to the answers given to those questions. But you gotta spice this up, bro. And it's always you asking the dumb questions. Like, I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm not trying to call people out, but come on, bro. It's always you.
Thing that you guys all know, just I love being around him. I love coming to work every day because of guys like him, and so that's kind of what I tell people. Everything you're seeing on social media is like, I laugh just like you do every day that I'm around him, and have a good time. So glad he's here.
Same regurgitated answer he's given about 15 million times to everybody else. Come on. See, this is what I'm talking about, man. Come on, Joe. Step your game up as a reporter. Please.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
I believe in you.
All right, and we will end with Mike Solarte.
Adam, good to see you again. Enough of the football questions. What happened at Tahoe? How did you not win?
No, not enough of the football questions. That's what we're here for. See, y'all reporters, you don't get it. You don't get it. This is what we're here for. We want the football content. We don't want to know what's going on a lake, somewhere. We don't want to know, like, what you did, like, hanging out, working out. We don't care. Show us what you're doing on the practice fields, bro. Talk to us about the players, how they're interacting with each other, on the training camp field. What are they learning? How are they adapting to the system? What are they specifically working on? Are they working on footwork, hands, technique? What are they working on? Body control, maybe, hands, if you're a wide receiver. I want to know that stuff. Even though it is kind of a day off, and I'm going to update the title, because we don't have any real content for today, but I'm doing the live stream anyway just to make sure that we cover all our bases. But that's the stuff I want to hear about. I don't want to hear about what's going on, on the lake. All the players went out on the lake. We went fishing. We did, that's cool and all. That's leisure time, bro. That's cool. But, and all the players do deserve that. You can't work all the time. I get it. But what I'm here for is the football content, bro. That's why we're here. Why are we covering this press conference if we ain't covering the football content? You know what I'm saying? Like, not enough with the football questions. Give me more football questions. I want to know what's going on.
Hi, Trayvon. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good.
All right. First introduction to Trayvon Moehrig. This is what we're here for. Thank you. I have not heard this man speak before. Let's find out who he is. Let's find out, the type of person he is. Behind the podium. I want to listen to this. Let's see.
Thank you so much for taking the time.
Yep.
If you're ready, we will go ahead and get started.
Yep, I'm
if
ready.
you have a question, please raise your hand and we will start with Mike K.
Hey, Trayvon, how's it going?
Good. How you doing, man?
I'm well. I wanted to ask you about two younger teammates. Jack Henderson, who's a guy that kind of has the ability to do some of the stuff that you do as far as versatility.
Mm-hmm.
What have you seen from him early on? And I guess I'll follow up with the other guy once you answer.
Yeah. No, he's been hungry, man. You can tell out on the field in meetings. He's eager to learn and get out there and play. And so far it's been fun being around him and sharing knowledge and being able to show him what I've known, and he's been doing good so far. So excited to see him keep playing.
Shaw Smith-Wade's another guy who's pretty versatile. I know you weren't here for his rookie year, but he was just learning the nickel position last year. Now it seems like his role's kind of expanding. What do you like about his game, and how's the communication been, with you two back there?
Man, he's just a versatile dude, man. Like, every time we go out there, it seems like he's always making plays. So our relationship, I just got here, but I think we're building a good, strong, chemistry with him and the rest of the DBs. But, man, every time we go out there, it's a fun time. He has, really good energy and then just a really good guy overall. So it's fun to be out there with him.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Yep.
We will go over to Dennis Cox.
Thanks for the time. First of all, what about this defense fits your skill set? And then on the other side, how does your skill set fit the defense that Evero's running with you guys?
Man, I feel
Good
like just being
question.
able to.
That's the type of question I want these guys to ask. There you go. There you go. See, Joe, please learn something from this right here. As a reporter, please learn something. This is the type of question I want these guys to ask. This is what I want you to start asking. It's stuff like this. Because that's very relevant to what we're talking about as far as progressing these players, and progressing this team forward. So let's find out his answer. Let's go.
Line up, at a bunch of different spots, and just being able to learn, different techniques and different coverages and how to play in those spots, and just the whole versatility, like I said, of the whole defense. So implementing that into the scheme, it's been really fun to be around.
The versatility of the defense. Okay. This is something I wanted to ask about because we got Evero moving people around like it's musical chairs. Jeremy Chin and Frankie got sick of it because they're just like, yo, like, what are we doing? Like, where are you putting us? Are we in the best possible places to make these plays? You know what I'm saying? Just because these guys are multi-tools on the defense doesn't mean you can just rotate them around just like willy-nilly wherever. There are places that they're supposed to be at to make plays. You know what I'm saying? And if they're not in those spots to make those plays, then you need to change up your scheme. And that's what versatility of the defense. See, that's such a broad statement right there. That's such a broad spectrum of things that we could be talking about here with Evero. Because you could go any direction with this. You know? And Frankie figured it out because he was the first one to figure it out. Because he was watching Jeremy Chin get shifted around because they couldn't figure out where to put Jeremy Chin. And then it started happening with Frankie to where Frankie was being moved every which way and sideways, and you couldn't figure out where he was supposed to be. So, like, what are we doing with the versatility of the defense? That's a very good quote right there, and a very interesting answer from Morik. So, I like it, but at the same time, like, it raises some questions. You know, that we've been asking, like, all offseason about Evero. So, it's not like this is new, but I kind of want to see this versatility of defense in action before I start really raising the alarm or saying, okay, things are okay. You know, let's stay the course and let's see what happens. Because I think it's a little too early to panic, you know? But at the same time, like, we're in that yellow cautionary area where a lot can happen that can go wrong. You know, if these players are in the wrong spots. And I don't think with Frankie, it was more so he wanted to play for that defensive coordinator. I think it was more so he got sick and tired of being moved around like his musical chairs and seeing that this defense is not working. You know, this scheme is not working with Evero. I could be wrong about that, but I feel like that's where Frankie's mindset was when he left the team. But, you know, I don't want to put words in a man's mouth. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do that. But that's my theory. You know, I have yet to prove it. That is my theory. So, until we see Evero keep doing the same garbage this year, you know, and proving that theory correct, you know, then that's when you could start to say, okay, Evero's not the man for the job. But unless Evero uses his scheme and he starts using the versatility correctly, then you can say, okay, maybe this theory was a little ill-founded. Maybe we should backtrack a little bit and just say, okay, maybe Evero might know what he's doing. You know, so maybe it's just too early to tell yet. You know, but this is the last year and Evero is on the hot seat. So I need to know, you know, with the players that we have healthy now, is Evero going to continue to shift people around like his musical chairs, or are we going to find some continuity? That's what I need. You know, because that's what we all need to see and learn from. Because we know the offense is good. The offense is solid. Ain't anybody worried about the offense right now. If you worried about the offense, you paying attention to the wrong thing. Because that junk is stacked. We got a good system going. Those numbers are gonna look good. You know, it's gonna carry the defense. You know, as it should. But is Evero going to figure this out with the versatility he has been given? Or are we just going to be sitting there just going, what are you doing? You know? And getting pissed off at all the missed plays this year. Because, I mean, you can put a small percentage on the players, and I hate to put an actual percentage number on it, you know, but the rest of it is Evero. If he's not putting these guys in the right spot, that's on Evero. Period. Point blank, period. Because if they're not even remotely in the same area code as the player, as the ball carrier, you got a problem. And I've seen that a handful of times with Xavier Woods last year. I saw it with a couple other players too, and I was just like, what is Evero doing? And at first I blamed the players because I didn't understand that maybe Evero may be playing around a little too much with this versatility that we're talking about here. So I do want to kind of apologize for a little bit of that shade towards the players last year, because I was not on top of that completely, and everybody makes mistakes, I'm the first one to admit it. I make mistakes all the time. I make misreads all the time. I say the wrong things all the time sometimes, about certain things that I'm not 100% understanding of, such as defensive schemes and stuff like that. So I've got a lot to learn on that stuff, and I'll be the first one to tell you that. So when it comes to defense, I've got to be a little bit more cautious because of my lack of knowledge there. But, when it comes to the coaching scheme just plan out not putting the players in the right spots, it took me a while to notice it and someone else to point it out to me. But once I did, it's something you can't sweep underneath the carpet. You got to look at it. You got to pay attention to it. And that's the thing. So, this versatility of players, that's an interesting way to put it, Trayvon. And I'm glad you put it that way, because that's exactly what we need to be discussing, throughout the season this year, is exactly that, the versatility of the players. So, nice wording. I like it. I'm not bashing it at all. I'm not throwing smoke at it at all. Nice wording. So let's see what else he has to say.
All right, we will move to Alex, followed by Jeff.
Trayvon, you mentioned moving around a lot, like in reps on defense and all these things. I know you're listed as a safety. When you explain your
moving around a lot in red zone defense? Huh. Okay.
position or what you do on the football field, do you use the term safety, or do you how do you describe your role on this?
Oh, good question. Good question. See, I like this reporter right here. This reporter's on top of the question he's throwing out here, man. Every single one of these has been on point and interesting and different and very, very relevant. Who is this dude, man? Because, I want to give him his proper props, man. I want to give him his respect and his due, because I like these questions. This is a good one. Let's see how Trevon responds to this.
Defense.
Man, I'd probably just the defensive back, being able, play wherever the coaches need me to play, really.
So he describes himself as a defensive back. So not necessarily a safety, but a defensive back. Okay. I'm learning a little bit about you, Trayvon, with these answers, man. And I like what I'm learning, because that flows back into his comment about the versatility of the defense, of what these guys can do. Because we got a bunch of versatile guys that can play two to three different positions, depending on what you're supposed to do in each scheme, in each situation. So I kind of like that. I like that answer. And it's honest and it's truthful. I like you, Trayvon. I like you.
the defense had two. We didn't see today's walkthrough, but the defense had two really good days of to start training camp. What can you report in terms of energy, in terms of things like that is promising on defense?
Yeah, we just made it a
What can you report on the energy of the players? Okay. Okay, that's a different question. I'm here for it.
big emphasis that we wanted to come out there and start fast, and that would carry us through the rest of training camp into the season. So, starting fast, going out there with a lot of energy and getting the guys around us, fired up to be out there and make some plays. So that's kind of where our head was going into camp.
That's the right mentality too, because we need that fast, energetic start. We need to be competitive, get those competitive juices going right early. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't let them kick in like halfway through training camp. We need to start them early, and get this thing heated up, man. Because I understand some of these guys need a couple of days to warm up, and get chemistry and build all that stuff, build it up, and then they get comfortable, and then they get knocked out of their comfort zone, and that's when the competition really starts for a few of these rookies and these players. For some of the vets, it doesn't take as long because they've been in the league for a while and they know the system, they know the schedule, so it takes half that amount of time for them, but at the same time, they get knocked out of their comfort zone early, and that by the rookies, and that's exactly how it should be with the competition in the room. So that's good. That's an excellent way to put that. And exactly what we're trying to do. Yep. So, great answer. What else y'all got for him?
Making sure it's all set. Good afternoon. I was wondering, what have you seen out of Martin Scott? Can his skill set play in the NFL? And is he someone that people should watch as an underdog to, maybe...
And Martin Scott is who he's referring to. That's interesting. There hasn't been a question about him before. Okay.
Practice squad or end of the rotation. Thanks.
Can you say that one more time? I didn't catch the first part.
Martin Scott, what have you seen out of him?
Oh man, he's just hungry as well. Been flying around, eager to learn, just like I said about Jack. So. Excited to see how the rest of this season goes.
Can his skill set play?
Yep, for sure. That was kind of a non-answer, to be real with you. I don't think he really knows how to answer that, except for just, he's got skills, like he's hungry, just like everybody else on the roster. So I think you'd get more of a real answer about that from Dave Canales, or maybe a DB coach, or a linebacker coach. Well, not the DB coach, but the linebacker coach would be the person to ask that question to. Well, maybe the DB coach too, because we don't know where he's going to be put at, on the field during schemes and stuff like that. So yeah, maybe the DB coach as well. But I think you'll get the best answer from Dave Canales on that one, because Dave Canales knows this entire roster inside and out, and he's the man to ask about stuff like that. Lower people on the roster and stuff like that. But if you don't want to waste Dave Canales' time, and ask him something about some of the more relevant topics, then ask the linebacker coach or DB coach that question, and they'll give you a better answer.
Thank you.
All right, we have time for
they
a couple
know
more for
Bam
Trayvon.
Martin
We will
Scott
move
better
over
than
David Newton.
Hey, Trayvon, David Newton with
Trayvon
ESPN.com.
He's
Wanted to
new.
ask you, what are you seeing out of your rookie edge rushers that's really impressed you so far?
Man, just getting after it, being solid at the point of contact, setting edges, making plays on the ball. Just all of those guys are flying around and helping us on the back end, in our coverages and like I said before, rush and cover work together. So them doing their job up front makes our job on the back end pretty smooth.
And you guys in the backfield back there, and you see Jimmy Horn Jr. line up, and he's known for his speed. Any examples of that, or what you guys say back there when he comes on the field, or what have you seen in terms of speed that's really impressed you then?
Just how he runs.
Finally, a relevant question from this man today. Finally. See, Joe, I knew you had it in you. I knew you had some decent questions in you, bro. See? That's the type of stuff I want to hear from you. When you're asking questions. Ask more like that, bro.
Like you said, he has a lot of speed. He's very quick, so you can see it in his route running when we're in practice, 7-on-7, team drills. You can just see how explosive he is coming out of his break. So it's been fun to watch him too.
Okay, appreciate it.
All right, we will go to Danielle, followed by Mike Solarte.
During free agency, what kind of things did Dan and Dave kind of say to you to almost sell being part of this Panthers team, and how is that panning out so far from what you've seen so far through training camp?
Ooh, interesting question. That's something I didn't expect today. Okay. Yeah. Let's see what he's got to say about that.
I just say, their vision of the team and where the team was headed, how they, felt about me and sharing their vision with how they see me, fitting in the scheme of the defense and just based off those things, explain how the people are in the building. It's a fun place to come work to. So just those things alone, I got to feel it, got to see, firsthand. So I was excited to come here when I made the decision.
Okay. So Dan and Dave's selling points are the vision for the team, where the team is heading, the people in the building, how fun it is to work there, and how he fits in with what they're looking for. Those are excellent selling points, for any free agent out there right now. And that's the right way to advertise, when we're trying to push for a contract signing, I like that. We're doing things the right way. And this is what Dave Canales meant when he said doing things the right way. This is just a small piece of that, is advertising the right way, promoting the right way, drafting the right way. Selling yourself as a franchise and your ideals and your vision correctly, to encourage these players to want to come here. And then say, okay, here's what we want to do with you. Here's how you're going to fit into that puzzle. We got an empty space right here in this gigantic puzzle, and we want you to fill that space. Here's the plan. A, B, C, D, E, whatever it may be, that we're planning on doing with you. What are your goals, as a player? What are you looking for? Does that match with what we're putting on the table for you? And Dave and Dan are just putting the cards on the table for these players. And I like it. That's the mentality we're looking for. When we're trying to get free agents, we're trying to build this roster. So I love that answer, and I love the fact that he was truthful and honest about it, and the fact that it was even asked in the first place. Great question. Because that really opens everybody's eyes to what the process is, to signing a free agent with Dan and Dave. That gets inside of the mind of Dan and Dave, while they're trying to get this process done. So excellent question and awesome answer. Trayvon Morig, I like you, dude. I like you. I like these answers. I like what I'm hearing, and I like he seems very intelligent, truthful, and honest, and and very disciplined in his answers, and very versatile in how he uses his phrasing. You know, to really represent what we're doing. That's excellent. Excellent verbiage. So,
Thank you.
yeah.
Hey, Trayvon, Mike Solarte, Spectrum News 1. Kind of dovetailing off of Danielle's question, you're coming to a defense that struggled in a lot of areas last year. Is there the I guess the chip on the shoulder with this group to say that last year is just a fluke and here comes the cavalry to kind of turn things around?
I wouldn't say which.
Interesting. So his question is more centered towards how does he fit in? To kind of follow that up. And does he have a chip on his shoulder from not getting it done in his previous place, in the NFL? I think that's a relevant question because there's a handful of these players that feel like they have to have a chip on their shoulder when they come out of wherever they came out of, and they come to Carolina and they say, yeah, brand new day, brand new work ethic, let's go. I got a chip on my shoulder. I'm hungrier. I'm more dominant now. I'm in better shape. Let's go out there and let's see what comes out of it. Come what may. With the seize the day attitude. And I like that. But how many of these guys have a chip on their shoulder? And see, that's part of the question here is like, does this dude have a chip on his shoulder from the people saying, oh, last year was a fluke, this, that, and the third about him, has he lost his game? Has he taken a step back? Relevant question here. So let's see how he answers that.
Too focused on last year. I think, this is a new year. We're all excited, for the new guys, the
Right.
young guys to come together and put some, on film and on tape and in front of the fans, to be proud of. So that's kind of our goal, each and every day, just focus and, just get better.
Excellent answer. And that's exactly how he should answer that. You need to be focused on the here and now. This is a brand new year, brand new mentality, brand new start. Let's focus on what we're doing now. Yeah, the past is the past, but I'm with the Carolina Panthers now. Now, what am I going to do in a black and blue uniform? What am I doing for the Panthers and these fans in Charlotte and throughout the Carolinas and around the world that are Panthers fans? What am I doing now? That's what's important. Good focus, my man. Good focus. I like that.
With the talk of complementary football, and I know David talked about the edge rushers, but how does this defense and what you've been learning about it, how are those layers kind of coming together with the line, the backers, and then you guys in the back?
It's been smooth, man. Since OTAs, it's been a really detailed, camp so far since I've been here. So each day I've been learning. Each day has been feeling like the defense has been getting smooth and being steady. And like I said before, we just got to keep our head down, keep grinding each day. And I'm excited what this defense can do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
For sure.
Any other questions for Trayvon?
Complimentary football. I think that's a key phrase right there. I like how that was weaved into the question. Because that's exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to play complimentary football. We're trying to work together. We're trying to be in chemistry with each other and work together. Combined effort. Yeah, nobody's more important than the other one. You know, everybody works together. It's one big machine. You know, each cog is important for that machine. And so, you know, Dave Canales was pushing that, and so was everybody else. So, I like that.
All good?
Oh,
All
yeah,
right.
I had one.
Oh, okay, Mike.
I read somewhere that you teach yourself something new every year. Is there something you're working on right now? Anything interesting?
Nah, not really. I kind of stand. I mean, we're in football now, so it's kind of focusing on football. But during the off season, I stayed around the guitar and stuff like that. Started reading a little bit more. I'm reading the Lord of the Rings series right now, so that's kind of one thing I picked up on my free time.
Who else loves the Lord of the Rings series? There you go. There you go. He's a sci-fi guy, man. I like this. I like him. I like this dude.
Do you have a favorite song that you play?
Favorite song, probably right now, that's probably my best song, is Island in the Sun by Weezer. It's pretty.
Oh, he's a Weezer fan too. Okay. I'm learning about you, Trayvon. I like that. Yo. Man. I think if I was to talk to him, I'd have a very, very interesting conversation with him. That would be very fun. I would really, really enjoy that.
Pretty fun to play.
Have you seen them in person at all? Or?
Nah, I haven't. I haven't been to too many concerts like that, but I'm a big fan of like alternative and rock music, so.
There you go.
Awesome.
Yeah.
My man.
All right. Well, thank
I love to see that, man. I love that. You know, we get a bunch of people that are into different types of music, you know, throughout the team, and like that just builds a little bit of unity, you know, when you see players into all kinds of stuff, you know. And you got people into the rap and hip hop area, you got people into the rock area, you got people into country, you know, on this team. I mean, there's a vast diversity of what people really like, you know, music taste wise in this locker room every year. And that's been a really cool thing. You know, I really like that. So, you know, it's not just blasting rap music, you know, throughout training camp practices. It's also like maybe they'll throw in a rock song or a country song in there, you know, to motivate whoever's into that stuff, you know. So, you know, I like that. I like that. You know, he's a Weezer fan. That's what's up. I'm not a humongous Weezer fan myself, but hey, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I like a few songs. I did see him live. At least once. I can say that. So. But shout out to his book reading interest as well. You know, just the stuff that he enjoys, you know, like I like that. I like that a lot. I feel like if I was to sit down and have a conversation with him, you know, about football and just life in general, it would be a fun conversation, man. Because he just comes across as just very relaxed and just makes you feel comfortable when you're in the room with him. Does anybody else sense that too? Or is it just me? I feel that, man. And I like that. He's putting a smile on my face, man. Because he's smiling throughout like all of these questions and answers, and it was just a very relaxed Q&A. And I get that vibe from him, and I like that. Because there's not many players that are like that. You know, they come in, they're just like, man, let's just get this over with. Let's see what kind of questions y'all got for me, blah, 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 blah. You know, kind of that, yeah, this is on my schedule for today. Let's just get to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing. Blah, you know, blah, blah, blah. Nah, this dude's happy to be here, man. And you can sense it. It's a different energy. And that's something that you rarely see. You know, you saw it from Greg Olson. You saw it for some of the big vets, you know, back in the day, because and it shows me he's got a passion for this game, and not only a passion for the game, but a passion for people. You know, I could see that. I could see that just observing this press conference right here, and I got all of that just by listening to him for about 15 minutes here. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people can read others, you know, and get an idea of who they are. Like, I happen to be somewhat good at that, but, you know, I'm still training my skills on that, of course. But the more that I practice that, the more I learn it, that skill set, you know? And I feel like this dude's done so many pressers that he's just used to this by now. And he just likes making people feel comfortable in the press room. It's not just a Q&A. It's a friendly chat, you know, by the fireside. You know, type of Q&A. And it's different, man. It's a different energy, and I like that. That's so good, man. That's something we need more of right there. I want to see him just like, I want to see more pressers from him. I do. Put him out there. I want to see him answer some more questions. You know, in the future. So some of the rest of these guys, I get it. You know, you got your own personalities, you got your own bland, you know, outlook on doing pressers and whatnot, and I get that. And I'm not holding that against anybody, and I'm not asking anybody to be anybody other than who they are. You know. You know, if you see it as bland, then you see it as bland. You know, I'm not trying to stop you. You know, I'm not trying to tell people how to do pressers. You know, unless they give away the family jewels, you know, secrets wise, you know, then we got a problem. Like our offensive coordinator did, you know, right before the first draft that we ever had with him in here. But beyond that, nah. You ain't gonna hear no smoke from me about pressers. Nah. I respect these guys, man. I respect how they are and their personalities and you know, I allow these guys to be who they are, you know? Just be who you are. That's what I'm looking for, man. Just be real. And this dude's real, man. What you just heard in that presser, that was real. That's who he is. Off camera and on camera. So, I like that, man. Good first impression, man. That was awesome. And I think the last thing we need to focus on is the cap room at the moment. You know, once again, I'm going to adjust the stream title to reflect the fact that this was a day off for the players. And then we'll get back to day 3 officially tomorrow, and I'll title it appropriately. Because I was not aware this was a day off because they didn't put out any type of schedule or anything like that. So, but yeah, looking at our current cap room, we're looking at $17.7 million with the team, which is enough to make moves. If we need to sign a free agent, you know, a major free agent to help us out, you know, at corner, we can do that. Or a major linebacker should we need to. I like that amount right there in cap space. That's going to be very, very useful to us in the coming months. Now, as we go along, I did a little bit of guesswork on which players I think might get cut. And I'm going to take Jack off that list because I liked what I heard about Jack today in that presser. But, you know, you got Steven, you got Maplo, you got Jacoby, Michael, Traven, Thomas, you know, people like that are going to be sitting on that list of people that are going to get cut and not make the 53. And a few of these guys are going to make practice squad. That's why I'm kind of counting that in and leaving their contracts alone on here on the interactive salary cap simulator here. But what that does is once you cut those players, it affects the 26 bottom line, which started out as what was it? 17.7. Yeah, the current cap for this year is 18.9. 18.94 to be exact. So 2026, it would be 17.7, you know, without all the calculations of cuts before the 53-man roster that I just made. What that totals up to affecting 2026 is 24.372. With all these people gone. Some of these are special teamers, so there's a few of them I couldn't account for. You know what I mean? So maybe I pushed for their cut too early, you know, and I didn't recognize that they were special teamers. So I'm still learning like where some of these guys go on special teams. You know, so that's why I'm that's kind of a hit or miss number right there of the 24.372 because we don't know for sure. You know, that could be plus or minus about 5 or 6 players. Where you're looking at how it affects 2027. 2027 was originally $104.5 million. What that now moves up to is $117 million. You know, putting us in the red for 2028 with no team salary cap and $110 million in liabilities. You know, but that number is going to change once we start moving people around to about $110.9 million in the red. But of course, these numbers are going to fluctuate, you know, after 2026, depending on what you do with these 53-man roster cuts. So we're going to see how this rolls. We'll take a look at that 2026 number once all the cuts have been made. And we'll see what we want to do. But it should not affect the 2025 bottom line of cap space right at the moment because that number stayed the same. Basically. It did go up to 18.9, didn't it? No, it stayed the same. Alright, guys. Well, those are the numbers we're looking at. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. You know, it's a day off for the Panthers today. We're going back at it day 3 tomorrow. No schedule set for when we're going to be doing the streams. Pay attention to the Facebook group page for the Yahoo Sports app Fantasy Football League stuff. I will let you guys know when that is open to the public. Hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit that bell, select all, leave a comment down below if you feel like doing so. And don't forget to check out the Facebook group page. Keep pounding in all caps for in-game posts, polls, opinions, and reactions to NFL news, such as scheduling for the channel and for the Yahoo Sports app. Keep pounding Fantasy Football League. Make sure to turn those alerts on because there's a lot of content coming in for training camp. Make sure you get them on because you don't want to miss these lives. I'm doing these lives at random times, so make sure you get them. You can watch the VODs. Those are available to you. Thank you for all the new likes and follows and all the new subscriptions. Appreciate you guys. Welcome to the Keep Pounding family. Shout out to Marcus Cash in the chat, who is a mainstay in our chat. Shout out to everybody that's feeding me info in the team chat and everybody else that's outside of the team chat that's feeding me info. Appreciate you much. Continued prayers for Carol, our co-founder of the channel, who is still going through some issues health-wise, and she's in her recovery process. So prayers for her recovery and much love to her. Everybody here loves her, and she's just awesome. All right, so yeah, as usual, stay happy, healthy, and well. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good rest of your day, and as always, keep pounding. Peace. Also, be sure to check out Lindara Tai on Instagram for your streams, intros,